Hey, Streamlined CEOs, welcome back to the podcast where we dive deep into the nitty-gritty of online business operations, my favorite thing. If you're feeling overwhelmed, like you're constantly putting out fires, or if you're dreaming of a business that runs smoothly, even when you're not glued to your laptop, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a world of business operations and operations management to uncover these things. The 3 things you don't want to hear about streamlining operations, but is indeed reality. All right, so let's get real. Number 1, we're going to dive right in. Streamlining operations is the long game. Can you have some quick wins? Absolutely. And they should absolutely happen. A new task management system, a streamlined client onboarding process, those can definitely give you a boost. But generally, it takes anywhere from 3 months to a full year to see significant ROI from this process. It all depends on this very, very, very important thing, okay? It all depends on where you're at now when you actually start streamlining operations and what needs to happen to get you to those desired outcomes. Everyone's business is unique. They're in their own journey and their destination is their own as well. So think of it like this, okay? Planting a garden. And okay, I am totally chanting one of my clients right now. One of my clients is a nonprofit. It's called the Growing Kindness Project. You should absolutely go check it out. Their entire goal is to give with flowers out of simply the kindness of their heart. And so they show you how to grow a garden, like a cut flower garden, but they also show you how you can give and connect with your community. So you should totally go check them out. They are on Instagram primarily. Okay, but here, if you have planted a garden or haven't, we all know this general analogy here. You don't just throw seeds in the ground and expect a flourishing harvest overnight. That's insane, right? You need to nurture it. You need to water it. You need to weed it. And you need to give it time to grow. Okay? And so this is the exact same thing with business operations. They're no different. You don't just expect these huge flowers overnight, and you don't expect these huge results overnight from streamlining your business operations either. Okay, now before I share these next 2 things that you may not want to hear, I want to take a moment to introduce myself for those of you who are new to the Streamlined CEO podcast. I am Karalee Gault. I'm the host of this podcast and the operations specialist and CEO behind the Productivity Impact. You know, my journey with business started with a bang. Like, it was awesome. In year 1, I was just dipping my toes in though, testing the waters. But in year 2, year 2 is where things really, really, really took off. It was exciting, exhilarating, and completely overwhelming and exhausting. I was scaling rapidly, but without the right foundation, a solid team, or streamlined systems. You see where this is going, right? The pressure was immense, and honestly, it felt like my business was about to crumble. Here's a plot twist. It did. But I'm here to tell you, there's hope. All right, so this is what happened though. I faced a tough choice. I could shut down completely, okay? Throw my dreams out the window at that point. I could face reality and my limitations, right? What was right in front of me? What could I do? Or I could keep doing what I was doing and pushing and risking burnout, which was not going to get me to my desired outcomes at all. So choosing the easy way out wasn't an option for me. And that doesn't matter what you thought was the easy way out, okay? None of them were going to be easy. But the simplest way was not going to work. So what I did was, instead of just shutting everything down, I took a step back. Like, I really dug deep. Why did I start this business? What do I really want to do? What do I love about what I'm doing? What isn't working? What is working, right? And then what I did was I implemented the systems that would allow me to scale sustainably. Okay. And you know what? It worked. Okay. When we implement the systems, we are able to do things so much more sustainably. Okay. But I also need business strategy. Just a side note. All right. So bringing on a team became a breeze in this case. And the constant burnout I was experiencing at that time was finally lifted. All right. And I was back in control and my business was thriving. Okay. Now it took time. Okay. It took some time to get it to there. So now today I work with 6+ figure CEOs, and I also work with some scaling solopreneurs, right? Because I was a scaling solopreneur. I needed the support. And so I work with both solo or scaling solopreneurs and 6+ figure CEOs, and I work with them in different capacities, right? But essentially I do the same thing with them, is streamlining their operations, right? Simplifying them, optimizing them, implementing different things, right? Helping them free up their time and energy for those high level tasks or whatever they wanted to do, right? Whatever they wanted to focus on, and strategic thinking, right? To continue scaling and growing their business. I also ensure my own business runs smoothly with the incredible support of my team. The impact I've seen on my clients is absolutely incredible, and I love it. I love to celebrate with them. They're saving hours each week, knowing exactly what to work on each day, and finally able to focus on what they do best, and that's serving their clients, right? So I have countless testimonials from clients who've experienced these same transformations. They've shared how implementing systems has given them back their sanity and allowed them to truly enjoy their businesses again, okay? And so if you're a CEO feeling overwhelmed by this day-to-day, right, struggling to scale sustainably, or simply dreaming of a more streamlined and enjoyable business, I'm here to help, okay? That's why I am here. That's why this podcast exists. That's why every single thing I do in my business exists. And so let's work together to build a business that supports you and not the other way around, okay? All right, now that you know a little bit more about me, I felt like it was super important, especially for this episode. But now that you know a little about me and my journey, let's get back to those other two things that you may not want to hear, because this is like a reality check podcast episode. Okay. So number 2 here is operations managers are not usually, in quotes, okay, they're not usually also business strategists. Now, don't get me wrong. A good operations manager is absolutely invaluable. They're the ones who take that vision that you have and they turn it into reality. Okay. But here's the thing, if you have a clear goal and strategy for your business, it's not only simpler to implement operational changes, but chances are we aren't going to have to also reinvent the wheel later on, going to be needing to make significant changes in like 6 months on this exact same thing, right? We don't want to be spending time on the same things over and over again when we could have prevented it in the beginning, if that is the case, okay? So imagine trying to build a house without blueprints. I love giving these examples, right? Tangible life examples. Now imagine building a house. I couldn't imagine building a house, but I definitely couldn't imagine building a house without blueprints, right? We can follow instructions, right? Okay, keep that in mind. So if you were trying to build a house without blueprints, you might get some walls up. Yes. Yeah, we could build a wall probably. But it's going to be a chaotic process, right? Because we're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. And you'll probably end up with a few rooms in the wrong place, right? Because this is a large scale thing. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of things that need to be done. All right. And so your business strategy in this case is your blueprint. Okay. So without your business strategy, it's really hard to be able to implement and streamline your operations. Your business strategy is your blueprint, right? It guides your operations and ensures that everything is aligned with your overall vision. Okay. So if you're searching for a business strategist, I highly recommend Holly Haynes. She's also the host of the Crush the Rush podcast. If you want to go check her out as well, she has been able to help me really get clarity around my business strategy and what I want to do. And I just highly recommend her to everyone that I know. Okay. So just go check her out. And finally, number 3, streamlining operations takes time and a lot of it. I am being serious. This feels like, I don't even know, like the slowest speed ever. Like when you're in a traffic jam and you're like, why am I going 5 miles an hour? That's what it feels like. It takes time and it takes a lot of it. Okay. Because this is why it takes time. But if we want to do it right, we want to make sure that these things are happening to actually streamline your operations. There's the understanding of the business itself, right? And how it functions, right? Then it's understanding how best to actually optimize that, right? Leverage what you already have, implement different things, right? It takes some time. It takes a lot of understanding to be able to do this properly, okay? And it's also actually implementing the changes, right? We actually have to implement the changes after we figure out what they are, and then also tracking the progress to make additional changes, because here's like, we don't always get it right the first time. Not every aspect is right the first time. There will be hiccups. There will be things that we're like, well, that didn't quite end up happening how we intended it to. And we make adjustments from there. Okay. So think about these business practices like this. All right. I love these 2 examples I'm going to give you because they are widely known by so many people. And so think about business practices like growing a YouTube channel, right? Or SEO for your website, right? Those things take time, just like streamlining your online business operations. All of those things take time. You wouldn't expect your YouTube channel to blow up after one video, would you? I mean, I certainly didn't. Or your website to rank number 1 on Google overnight. No. You understand it takes consistent effort and refinement to be able to have a highly successful YouTube channel, to have a rank number 1 especially, or even ranked high, right, on Google, right? You understand it takes time, effort, and consistent refinement, right? So now I need you to also correlate that to streamlining your business operations, okay? Now, I know what you might be thinking in this moment. You're like, Karalee, this sounds like a lot of work. And I'm going to tell you right straight, right? Yes, it's a lot of work. You are so right. But here's the thing. What happens the longer we put it off? That's my favorite question to ask. What if we don't make these changes? What happens? What if we do make these changes? What happens? But the longer we stay right where we are, the longer it takes to get to the goals, and the longer it takes to get your time back, so on. Okay? So what happens the longer we put streamlining our operations off? What happens? Okay? So, and here is some little baby steps that you can even do if you're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know where to start. Even if you started with simply implementing a task management system, okay, I recommend ClickUp. Or you did a monthly planning session, right, with yourself, with a VA, with me, or you actually planned out your launch, which I can also support you with, you would start to see results, okay? We're talking small pieces, or maybe not all of them are small, but pieces of your operations that we're going to start with to start seeing some more immediate results. So this might actually seem very minimal. It's really going to, but they are building on each other. And that's what's super important. And when you start to see small things adding up, you'll be excited to implement the larger ones. Every step that you take that's in alignment with your goals is a step toward your desired future. Okay. I like to picture this staircase, right? You've seen them on Google or wherever on social media. You've seen the staircase pictures where you've got the giant steps and a little tiny stick figure trying to climb. And he is on his tippy toes. He's trying to get to that next step. And you can see he's like, that's not going to happen, or that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of, effort, things like that. Then there's another staircase. And there's small steps that the stick figure can easily climb. So it's going to be far easier to climb. So when you're thinking about your business operations, which one would you choose? Which would you choose if you knew that your desired outcome would happen in the same amount of time? Would you struggle to do everything at once, or would you try to take smaller steps, but you still knew that the timeline was going to be the same? So you can either struggle to try to do it all at once, or you can be strategic and you can take those calculated steps. Okay. So here's going to be your little action step for today. Take a moment to reflect on your current, in their current state, your current operations. Where are you feeling the most overwhelmed? Okay. What's one small step you can take today to streamline something? Maybe it's documenting a simple process or scheduling a time to research task management systems. Okay. Or you can just go ahead and hop in my DMs. You can send me an email, reach out to me, and we can figure out what your next best step is. Okay. Because I'm also going to recommend ClickUp for you if you want to skip the research aspect of task management systems and just go with the one that I've already done all the research for you on. Okay. I've tried over 40 and went with ClickUp. So here's the bottom line though. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Okay. Like I said earlier, we're not going to get it right every single time on the first try. Okay. And even these smallest steps, you might feel like it's so tiny, but these small steps can lead to big results when we continue to make small steps mean something, when they build on each other. Okay. Now I know diving deep into operations can feel really daunting and overwhelming. Okay. So I want to give you a couple of resources to get you started. Okay. Now don't get overwhelmed with the resources either. All right. But I have put together a free operations manual. Okay. It's packed with tips and tools to help you streamline your business and avoid burnout. We have an overview of what operations are, how they have like different examples. And then we have a bunch of software in there that I have tried out and I recommend to my own clients. I've had recommended to me. I have tried every single thing. And so there is a lot there, but we want to avoid this burnout stage. We want to avoid analysis paralysis. Okay. So you can also reach out to me if you're like, hey, I think we should use this one, but I'm not sure. What do you think, Karalee? I'm totally down for that. Okay. And you can just head to my website, theproductivityimpact.com, and find it there. Okay. And so that's option number one. All right. That's like the easiest barrier to entry to learning about operations and getting some good systems in place in softwares. Okay. But if you're ready to take it to the next level, right, the next step, and really uncover these hidden bottlenecks where things slow down significantly in your business. So if you're ready to be like, I am all in, I need to find these little gaps, these hidden bottlenecks in my business, I'm going to encourage you to grab the DIY operations audit. So I'm going to share with you the 5 core questions that uncover your hidden bottlenecks. Okay. And it will give you a clear framework for identifying and addressing these operational challenges, essentially showing you how to streamline business operations. Okay. So this one is not free. It's available for $97, but trust me, the clarity and focus it provides are worth every single penny. All right. You're ready to put in the work. You're ready to identify the things. You're ready to get real. You need the DIY operations audit. Okay. And you can learn more about that at theproductivityimpact.com as well. So those of you that are truly committed to building a scalable and sustainable business, like right now, you're ready to do the work. I'm going to invite you to just join the Impact Hub because you get the operations manual and you get the DIY operations audit included in the Impact Hub. And so it's a monthly membership program where we provide proven systems, ClickUp Mastery, which is also why I recommend ClickUp, a bunch of templates and everything in there, and my expert guidance and others to help you streamline your operations and achieve this like work-life balance or work-life harmony, whichever you prefer to say. Okay. And it's only $47 a month, or you can grab the entire year for $399. All right. And so it is incredibly affordable here for you wanting to streamline your operations and get access to me and my brain and to pick my brain. Okay. So it includes access to also a supportive community of like-minded entrepreneurs. So you can also connect with other people that are streamlining their operations and maybe even find someone that's like, ooh, we're kind of in the same industry. Like, what are some of the things that you're doing, or what are some of the systems and softwares that you're using? Love connections. Okay. And of course, you can learn about this also at theproductivityimpact.com. All right. Everything is at theproductivityimpact.com. Okay. So go ahead and grab the free operations manual. You can go ahead and grab the DIY operations audit, or if you're ready to go all in, I'm encouraging you to join us in the Impact Hub. Okay. So of course, if you love this podcast and you don't want to miss another episode, go ahead and subscribe either on your podcast platform you're listening on, or you can head to YouTube and subscribe there because YouTube also has some fun bonus videos as well. So either way, you're going to be given more actionable tips and insights when it comes to streamlining your operations every single week. So until next time, keep streamlining, keep scaling, and keep building this business of your dreams.